our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Elia Batul. A U.S. nonprofit registered in Illinois is under fire for aiding alleged war crimes in Gaza. Also, a 5-month Guardian investigation has identified 2 Israeli snipers. This and more coming up in today's show, so stay tuned. Utah Governor Spencer Cox has identified the suspect in the Wednesday shooting of conservative pro-Trump commentator Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. 22-year-old Utah resident Tyler Robinson is in custody. Authorities say a family friend reported that Robinson confessed to the killing. The FBI confirmed his arrest within 33 hours, calling it a historic operation. Investigators say that more than 11,000 leads have been received. FBI Director Kash Patel said the agency is committed to bringing justice to Kirk's family. President Donald Trump, adding to fear and tension across the country, said, "We have to beat the hell out of radical left lunatics," after accusing leftists of Kirk's killing. Cox revealed that shell casings from the rifle carried cryptic messages. These included "Hey Fascist, Catch," and lyrics from the song Bella Ciao. A third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." Officials have not explained the meaning. The FBI also had offered a $100,000 reward for information about others possibly linked to the shooting. In related news, multiple historically black colleges and universities, known as HBCUs, went into lockdown on Thursday after receiving threats following the killing of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk in Utah on Wednesday. HBCUs are U.S. institutions founded before 1964 to provide higher education opportunities for Black Americans at a time of segregation. Alabama State, Virginia State, Hampton, Southern University, Clark Atlanta, Spelman College, and Bethune-Cookman all halted activities. Students and staff were told to shelter in place. The lockdowns come a day after conservative and Islamophobic commentator Charlie Kirk, 31, was killed during a campus event at Utah Valley University. Civil rights leader Reverend L. Sharpton condemned both incidents. He recalled earlier HBCU attacks and said he is adding security after rising threats. The FBI says it is aware of hoax calls targeting HBCUs and stressed that innocent people are put at risk, though no credible threat has been confirmed. Hampton University canceled classes and events through Friday, while Virginia State and Southern extended lockdowns and canceled all activities into the weekend. The Congressional Black Caucus condemned the threats as a chilling reminder of racism that continues to target Black communities. Authorities urged students to stay vigilant and report suspicious activity as investigations continue. President Donald Trump says America should speed up its justice system. Speaking on Fox and Friends, he said the U.S. should have quick trials like China, not cases that drag on for years. Trump pointed to Utah's use of the death penalty and urged it be applied in the case of Charlie Kirk's killing. Kirk was shot dead by a sniper at Utah Valley University on Wednesday during a campus event. Trump argued that long legal delays make streets unsafe and criticized courts for excusing crimes with social explanations. His comments came after a stabbing on a Charlotte, North Carolina train that left a young woman dead. Trump said the accused should face trial the next day. A U.S. nonprofit has been directly accused of aiding war crimes in Gaza. Registered in Illinois, the Friend of Paratrooper Sniper Unit 202 raises more than $300,000 to buy silencers, scopes, and other advanced gear for an Israeli sniper unit called the Ghosts. The unit has been linked to Israel's murder of more than 100 Palestinians, including unarmed civilians caught on video. Social media posts by family members of the U.S.-born Israel Defense soldiers boasted that donations helped supply the unit with equipment normally used by U.S. Navy SEALs. In October, Belgium opened a war crimes probe into Alan Ben Sira, a dual citizen, after reporting on the sniper unit. Drop site news later found a video from February on the unit's Instagram. It was geolocated to Khan Yunis and showed the shooting of an unarmed Palestinian. That same account posted a story with 4 unit members claiming they had set a record for long-range sniping. Records show that Friends of Paratrooper Sniper Unit 202 received U.S. tax-exempt status in August 2023. Many U.S. charities have stepped up fundraising for the Israeli military since Israel's genocide in Gaza began after October 7th. In related news, 2 Israeli snipers who grew up in Chicago suburb of Naperville and Munich, Germany, have been linked to the murders of unarmed civilians in Gaza. A 5-month investigation has found that on November 22, 2023, 4 members of the Daghmash family were shot dead in Gaza City's Tal al-Hawa neighborhood. 2 others were injured. The shooters were identified as Daniel Robb, a former University of Illinois student from the Chicago suburb of Naperville, and Daniel Grates, who was raised in Munich. Both joined the Israeli army and became part of a sniper squad calling itself Ghost. Robb admitted in a filmed interview that he shot 19-year-old Salim Daghmash as the teen tried to retrieve his brother's body, who had been killed moments earlier by Israeli forces. Israeli snipers then killed their father Muntasir Daghmash moments later while he was trying to recover his son's bodies. Investigators traced the sniper's position to a 6-story building overlooking Munir al-Rais Street. Graffiti and online videos celebrating the shootings confirmed their presence. Many in the unit were dual nationals. The Guardian conducted the 5-month investigation with Paper Trail Media, Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism, and German news outlets ZDF and Der Spiegel. It traced Robb's sniper position through photos and videos posted by Israeli soldiers. The University of Illinois campus newspaper, the Daily Illini, reports that Robb has a history of advocating for Israel, both at the university from which he graduated in 2021 and in his suburb of Naperville. Robb has served an outreach chair for Illini students supporting Israel. He was also involved with the Illini Public Affairs Committee, which supports U.S.-Israel relations at the university. Rights groups say the case highlights a wider pattern in which Israeli forces have targeted unarmed men in Gaza. They flagged suspected war crimes by members of the unit. Scholars and lawyers say such killings are evidence of genocide. Zionist comedian Jerry Seinfeld is under fire after comparing the Free Palestine movement to the Ku Klux Klan. Details coming up after the break. Welcome back. Zionist comedian Jerry Seinfeld is under fire for comparing the Free Palestine movement to the Ku Klux Klan. At a Duke University event on Tuesday, he said both groups don't like Jews, adding that the Klan was at least honest about its hatred. Seinfeld claimed the slogan Free Palestine hides anti-Semitism. His comments drew condemnation from many in the audience. He was introducing Omar Shem Tov, an Israeli prisoner freed earlier this year, when he made the anti-Free Palestine remarks. The 71-year-old comedian has been an outspoken supporter of Israel and has faced protests during earlier campus and overseas appearances. A Duke spokesperson stresses that the university does not endorse or preview remarks made by guest speakers. Democratic State Senator Sophia Chitlik of North Carolina spoke after Seinfeld. She strongly condemned his remarks. Chitlik also said she had raised her concerns with his team and the event sponsors. Israeli soldiers killed at least 50 Palestinians across Gaza on Friday. 14 victims were from the same family. The heaviest strikes hit Gaza City's Al-Shati refugee camp, flattening homes and destroying schools sheltering displaced families. The camp, less than a square kilometer, has become a refuge for thousands fleeing earlier assaults. The Israeli army also destroyed the El Safadi Tower and nearby homes in the Al Nasser neighborhood. Fires spread through crowded streets as families fled in panic. Doctors Without Borders said Gaza faces its worst medical crisis yet, with patients overwhelming hospitals and no medicines left. Qatar's prime minister is due to meet top U.S. officials after members of the United Nations Security Council roundly condemned Israel's attack on Hamas leaders in Qatar's capital, Doha, on Tuesday. Hamas pledges to keep fighting in the wake of the Israeli attack on Doha. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, is strongly condemning Texas Governor Greg Abbott for fueling anti-Muslim fears. Abbott posted online that Sharia law and Sharia cities are banned in Texas, a claim that CAIR says spreads misinformation and shows a deep misunderstanding of Islam. The rebuke came after the conservative True Texas Project circulated an email disparaging Middle Eastern elected officials on the eve of the anniversary of September 11, 2001 attacks. Democratic Representative Salman Bojani called the remarks insulting, while Muslim community centers have faced repeated political targeting under Abbott's watch. CAIR has urged Abbott to visit one of Texas's many mosques to learn what Sharia really means. It stresses that Texas Muslims fear God, not dishonest, fear-mongering politicians. CAIR urged Abbott to understand Islam as well as the First Amendment. Senator Tom Cotton is facing criticism after urging the U.S. Education Department to block the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, from working with schools. Cotton, a Republican from Arkansas, sent a warning letter claiming that CAIR has ties to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. But he did not elaborate or give any proof of such contacts. Cotton argued the group should not be allowed near U.S. classrooms. Supporters of CAIR counter-argue it is the nation's leading Muslim advocacy organization, long engaged in civil rights and community work. They say Cotton's claims are unfounded and stigmatize American Muslims. The senator also asked the IRS to review CAIR's nonprofit status. The move has drawn sharp reactions from educators and civil rights advocates who say his campaign against CAIR undermines efforts to make schools more inclusive. The United States marked the 24th anniversary of the September 11, 2001 attacks on Thursday. Nearly 3,000 people were killed when Al-Qaeda hijackers struck New York and Washington, hijacking 4 planes. 2 crashed into the World Trade Center towers, another hit the Pentagon, and a 4th went down in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back. Family members and survivors gathered at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City. They read the names of the victims and honored their memory with moments of silence. The attacks shocked the nation and reshaped U.S. policy at home and abroad. They led to wars, a global war on terror, and sweeping security changes. As the country remembers, officials and families stress that the pain remains fresh even after 2 decades, and the promise to never forget endures. The U.S. has announced fresh support for Pakistan as the country reels from devastating floods. The State Department approves emergency funding to deliver food, shelter, and other relief, calling it the first such package under President Trump's second term. U.S. Central Command also flew in urgent supplies on C-17 aircraft, working with Pakistan's military to reach hard-hit communities. Officials say more than 1.3 million people have been displaced and hundreds killed in weeks of monsoon flooding. At the same time, Washington is deepening its economic ties. A Missouri-based company, U.S. Strategic Metals, signed a $500 million investment deal with Pakistan's Frontier Works organization. The plan includes building a polymetallic refinery and exporting minerals such as copper, gold, and rare earth elements. Both governments called the aid investment examples of a strengthened partnership. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said foreign investment could help Pakistan unlock its mineral wealth and ease its financial crisis. The only road linking the Muslim-majority Kashmir Valley to the outside world, the Srinagar-Jammu Highway, has been closed for weeks. Landslides and blockades have stranded thousands of food trucks on this critical route. Other traditional routes remained sealed and heavily militarized by India as they lead to Pakistan, leaving no alternative for growers. The shutdown of the lone road has devastated Kashmir's apple industry, the backbone of its economy. Farmers estimate losses of nearly $85 million this season. Freight costs have tripled as apples rot in markets and on highways. Many growers are forced to pay laborers to dump their spoiled produce. Truckers stranded for nearly 2 weeks call the situation unbearable. Farmers warn the crisis could cripple the valley's economy, which is already strained by climate change and high input costs. They say if India fails to restore this sole lifeline, the damage will extend far beyond the orchards. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.